Hello everyone, welcome to another one of my videos. Today we get to drive a 1993 Honda Prelude S, which is pretty much a base model 4th generation Prelude. Being the base model, it has the underpowered 2.2 liter F22A1 engine. It lacks the 4-wheel steering system and also misses out on the factory alloy wheels and the spoiler. Though it was the base model, it still had some good accessories loaded from the factory. Some of its basic features include 14-inch steel wheels with disc brakes. Obviously this one has the aftermarket alloy wheels, central locking, air conditioning, cruise control, 4-speaker cassette player, power windows, power mirrors, power antenna, and an electronic sunroof as well. Let us have a quick look at the seats and the boot of the car. You have nice looking rear seats with handrest, but in reality they are not usable as they suffer from serious head and legroom. However, things are much better at the front as you have excellent supportive factory sport seats with all the necessary adjustment. You have a low opening boot at the back. This makes loading heavier items easier. It is nicely carpeted and the size of the boot is adequate for a sports coupe. Let me start the car and quickly show you the engine bay followed by some exhaust sound. We are going to look at the interior now. On the left hand side you have the left hand side air vent, then you have the glove box underneath. In this section here you have the clock and the digital coolant temperature and fuel gauge. In the middle you have the center air vents with all the air conditioning controllers located. Underneath we have the factory cassette player. In this particular one it has been swapped with an aftermarket CD player. Then you have the ashtray, cigarette lighter, 4-speed automatic transmission with overdrive function, hazard light switch, handbrake, and a little bit of small storage at the back. Next we have the wiper controller and the indicator switch. The sunroof controller switch is here. Then we have the cruise control on and off, the light intensity for instrumentation cluster. The cruise can be set with these two buttons. On the right hand side you have the right hand side air vents, the right hand side power window controllers and power mirror controllers. Then we have the passenger and the driver side sun visor. Let's have a quick look at the instrumentation cluster. As I've told earlier, you get few warning lights on the left and the fuel gauge and the coolant temperature. In the middle you only have your RPM and speedometer. Let us drive the car and tell you more about it. I have driven both the 2nd and the 3rd generation Prelude. I've always liked them, so I was really curious to drive this 4th generation as well. Some of you may not agree, but I like the mix of digital and analog gauge. Even though it is the base model, you still get air conditioning, sunroof and cruise control. The overall build quality seems good. This particular one obviously has seen better days. There are a few broken plastic trims here and there. Still, the seats are comfortable and you don't get that much road noise on the cabin either. This base model has got the 2.2 liter F22A1 engine. You can look at the engine specifications below. This particular engine kind of lets the car down. It has got a 78.68 watt per kg power to weight ratio, so the car does feel slow, particularly at takeoff with this automatic transmission. It should drive much better with the 5-speed manual transmission. However, the SI and the VTi-R model comes with much better engines. Just have a look at the engine specs on those two models. Like many of the early 90 Hondas, this car sits quite low to the ground, which leads to the good handling characteristics of this car. The steering is sharp as well, but being a Honda, the power steering is a little overboosted. Still, it can confidently go through any corners quite fast with none to minimal body rolls with some predictive front-wheel drive understeers. Because these are not hardcore sports car, the ride is a little firm but by no means harsh. The fuel consumption figures are quite good. My friend used to get more than 550 km per fill without any trouble. Here are the official figures. Reading from different forums, it is recommended that you look at the following things before purchasing this model. Look for any rust spot in the body, especially the wheel fenders, and also look for any bubble on the paint. If you are buying one with 4-wheel steering, please make sure that it works, otherwise you're looking for big dollars to repair them. If you are test driving a VTi-R model, please rev it past 5800 RPM and make sure that VTEC is engaged and working properly. Also be careful of heavily modified car unless you know what exactly to look for. Last but not the least, look for the usuals like good service history, proof that the timing belt and the water pump has been changed, oil leaks, conditions of the suspensions, and make sure all the electronic functions works. As mentioned earlier on the video, I was really curious to ride the 4th generation Prelude. This base model has made this experience somewhat disappointing. Having said that, I still like the looks of the car and must praise the handling capabilities of the car. But if you are considering to buy a 4th generation Prelude, please try to avoid this model and look for the SI or VTi-R. Consider the VTi-R model as it utilizes the full potential of this excellent handling chassis. Feel free to share, like and comment on this video and consider subscribing to my channel. Finally, I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video. I'll catch you next time.